What's going on, people? What is going on? And I did not want to return to YouTube with this kind of video. And I use the term return, like, yes, I have uploaded 2 videos in the last 3 weeks. Not that that's anything or whatever, but those are kind of just like quick little update videos, whatever. You know, they weren't actual like content with actual substance to it. You know what I mean? But this is just exactly just what I've been talking about this whole time. And I know you guys have heard that a lot from me in, you know, previous videos. But I will keep saying it time and time again when a different situation comes out that shows what I've been trying to say this whole time. And once again, before I even get into it, like I always do, I want you guys to keep in mind that I'm not talking solely about this one situation. The big problem here is what this situation represents when it comes to Nintendo's mindset. What does that mean for Nintendo? It shows where their current mindset is. So this thing, along with all the 50 million other things in the past that I've talked about, all these things together, right? They are the problem. You guys always talk about, well, this individual thing isn't that big of a deal, that individual thing isn't that big of a deal, but it'll be a million things, right? So if you put those a million things together, boom, you have one big, grand problem. But for those who don't know, basically, Splatoon got some you know, information released today regarding its online and stuff like that. And honestly, there's some other disappointing things about the online, but the major problem here that of course I want to talk about is the lack of voice chat. Now I'm also going to tie this in with, I forgot the guy's name, I think it was Dan something or something like that. I can't remember. That might be completely wrong, I'm not sure. But you guys know how it was back when Nintendo had showed Cranky Kong at the VGAs, right? And one of the main points I made in that video is that I think the problem is that Nintendo is just too Japanese. They have too much of a Japanese mindset. And there's a few people, you know, who were talking about, you know, how dare you, you know, tie this to culture. You know, stuff like that. Like, it has nothing to do with culture, yada yada. How dare you say it has something to do with them being Japanese or whatever. And yet we have this ex-Nintendo executive come out and confirm exactly what I was saying. Again, I know you guys hear this all the time, but every single time I say something, I get crap for it. It will be weeks or months later, somebody with some kind of position in Nintendo, or that used to have some kind of position in Nintendo, will come out and confirm exactly what I was saying, right? And that's that Nintendo was old-fashioned. They are very, very Japanese. They are traditional Japanese. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, pretty much an ex-Nintendo executive came out and he was pretty much explaining that the reason why Nintendo is so slow to change, why they're so resistant to change, and why they don't understand modern gaming and stuff like that, is because they pretty much have a hierarchy system, pretty much in the, you know, Nintendo higher ups, where it's a voting system, right? Iwata doesn't have as much power as we formerly thought he did, it turns out. Really, there's like a board, I don't know how many people, let's just say like, it's pretty much a board of like 11 people, whatever, something like that. And they pretty much vote on all the things, you know, that Nintendo does, you know, with the Wii U, the 3DS, whatever business decision they made. And Iwata also came out before, and he didn't say anything specifically about this particular situation I'm talking about. I'm going to get to Splatoon in a second, but I'm just giving you guys a little, you know, background to, you know, so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. But Iwata was talking about how he wanted to like incorporate a sleep function feature into the Game Boy SP, right? But one of the other Nintendo execs who had power up there told him not to, and Iwata was pretty much saying like, yeah, a couple of times that's happened to me where I've wanted to do things, but you know, some other people here at Nintendo voted against it. So that also pretty much confirms what that ex-Nintendo exec had said. So the reason why Nintendo is so stubborn, the reason why they seem so clueless or whatever, is because they have a bunch of hard-headed, extra traditional, you know, Japanese figureheads pretty much in the office who are pretty much making sure that they do absolutely nothing that's above the bare minimum that they can do, right? Like, hey, we have a system, it can play a game that, by the way, the games come out, once every 4 months or whatever, right? We'll get like 2 months, 2 games, in the first half, and then all the rest of the games come out not in November, right? Droughts and stuff like that. But anyways, they don't want to, improve their system. They don't want to give us the basic features, the basic necessities. They don't want to give us the things that have been incorporated, the good things that have been incorporated to modern gaming. And I stress that because every single time I say Nintendo needs to get on with modern gaming, stuff like that, they need to understand it. People always say, why would I want microtransactions? And why would I want day one DLC? And all that stupid crap. That is not a point. That is not an argument. Oh, because you finally, turn yourself over to modern gaming. Oh, because you finally, put away your old ways. That doesn't mean you have to take what's bad about modern gaming. So stop using that argument, please. They could just take what's good. And there is a lot of good stuff that comes with modern gaming. I won't say it's most of you guys. I'm not going to say that. I'll say it's probably a minority. But there's a lot of Nintendo fans who always talk about, I'm glad they're old-fashioned. I'm glad they're stuck in their ways. I don't want them to conform to modern gaming and stuff like that. Acting as if Nintendo conforms to modern gaming, that means they would have to do every scumbaggy thing that like EA is doing and Ubisoft is doing. No, that's not what that means. When we say we want them to modernize, all that means is we want voice chat and multiplayer-focused games. Not voice chat, excuse me. Well, we do want that in multiplayer-focused games. But we want online, first off, because they don't even implement online in half the titles that should have online. And then if the title does have online, chances are that online title isn't going to have voice chat. Right? It's tiring, and it's ridiculous, and it confirms everything I've been saying this whole time about how it comes from a Japanese mindset. It comes from a Japanese culture. They are very, very stubborn. Very stubborn. And I understand the whole thing about wanting to protect the children and stuff. No, I take that back. I don't understand it. You know why, Nintendo? Because there's plenty of kids on PlayStation systems. There's especially a lot of kids on Xbox systems, right? They're just fine. They're fine. And sure, maybe you could, pop up 2 or 3 articles where something bad happened to this kid or whatever. That's unfortunate, but you know what? That's not the company's fault. That's not Sony's fault. That's not Microsoft's fault. That is the fault of the parents. I said this before, when you guys took away Swap Note on the 3DS, you guys took away any form of communication, right? On the 3DS, until Miiverse came out. I don't even know if Miiverse on 3DS actually has a messaging system. Does it? I honestly have not tried Miiverse on 3DS yet. But yeah. For a while, the 3DS had like no way to contact the people who were actually online on the 3DSs. There's no way to do it, right? And they did that because something happened with this girl where she met up with this man, and things happened, because they just were communicating over 3DS. So Nintendo took that app out completely, and the 3DS was communicationless, basically. And I can understand why you would feel bad about that, but you shouldn't. It's not your fault. Like I said in that video, when are you going to leave it up to the parents? When are you going to do that? When are you going to stop trying to take responsibility for something that is not on you? That is not on you. You know what's on you? Catering to your old school fans is what's on you. That's your responsibility, right? The people who have been with you for the NES, Super Nintendo, N64, those people should be your responsibility. You should be focused on taking care of them. Not these little kids who will take whatever the crap you throw at them. They don't care what they get as long as it's colorful and silly, right? But we grew up with you guys. So we need y'all to move with us a little bit, right? We are not the 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds that we used to be. We're not in the same neighborhoods. We're not in elementary school. We can't come to each other's houses, right? We need online. And then when we get online, we need voice chat. Especially if it's team-based. Splatoon is a team-based shooter with no voice chat. Nintendo. Imagine if you had to develop every game without talking to each other, right? Imagine all the developers sitting at the cubicles, right at the desk, whatever. Imagine trying to develop a game without talking to each other. Well, sometimes Nintendo, that's exactly what it could feel like trying to play a team-based game where you need coordination and strategy. That's exactly what it could feel like. It's so hindering. It's so limiting. It's not right. Stop! Stop! Jesus Christ. I am pretty excited for Splatoon because it looks fun as crap, right? It looks like a breath of fresh air. It's very unique. I already know there's going to be a lot of cool things you could do with the game's mechanics and stuff like that. It's going to be a cool game. But let's say I'm playing with randoms or something, right? I'm not going to be able to communicate with those randoms. And I'm not going to say this is a for sure thing because this hasn't been confirmed. But I even doubt that they'll do voice chat for, private games, right? I doubt they'll even do that. I'm not saying they won't. I'm saying I doubt. Because a lot of times Nintendo games won't even have voice chat for private matches. Now, okay, let's say I give you guys the whole no voice chat for public matches, right? Every game that has online, that has a private game feature should have voice chat for at least private games. Smash also does not count. I mean, I appreciate what's there, but there should be talking during the match so you can smack talk your friends. That's what Smash is all about. And my question to the Nintendo fan base, see, you guys were wondering why I was doing the whole redirect thing, which, oh, trust me, when I'm officially back on here for good, that's coming back. That's coming back. It's not going to be the same thing like I last talked about it. It's not even going to be the same name. But that whole drive, that whole thing is coming back because something has to be done here. Because as of right now, it doesn't really look like they're going to be moving much on their own. So they need a kick in the arse, okay? they need their fans to tell them. And I know what you guys are going to say, fans don't always know best. We do in this situation, okay? In this particular situation, we do. Because we know what's best for us. Who knows what's best for the gamers than the gamers themselves? We play the games. You see what I'm saying? Come on. I know I want voice chat. Wouldn't you like voice chat? If you don't care about voice chat, wouldn't you want others who want voice chat to be able to enjoy voice chat? It's that simple. It is that simple. So my question to you Nintendo guys, some of you Nintendo guys, is when are you going to stop the defensiveness? I understand. There's one Nintendo fan on here who said, the reason why I don't really criticize Nintendo much is because they get enough criticism as is from these, Microsoft and Sony fanboys. Whoop the effing do. That does not give you an excuse. Because here's the thing, Nintendo's going to look at those guys, they're not going to worry about them. They're not going to think anything that they're saying. They're the competition, they're fanboys that hate us, whatever. But if they see their own fans criticizing them, that will actually mean something. Hopefully it would. So that's the point here. So we need to speak out. Stop defending every little thing they do. It's time to tell them what's what. The Wii U is the lowest selling Nintendo system of all time. The GameCube is outpacing the Wii U. The Wii U is selling at a slower pace than the GameCube. And you guys think, you guys always want to blame everybody. You want to blame everybody else other than Nintendo. You want to blame the third parties, you want to blame the fanboys, you want to blame the fake Nintendo fans like that bastard Shokio. Y'all blame everybody else for Nintendo's woes except Nintendo themselves. When's it gonna stop? That's it for this video, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you fools later.